Good day, everyone. This is once again your friendly teacher in your English subject, Teacher AJ. Knowledge gaining process always requires a sacrifice. In the story we are about to discuss, God Odin could not grab the entirety of universal wisdom himself, but he needed to give up some things in exchange. Some people now prefer their comfort zone and believe that the difficult task is not worth the try. However, Odin presented the opposite. He proved that he chased after what set his heart on fire, no matter what price he had to pay for. It also reveals to us his true nature and the guiding belief for true wisdom. Our lesson 3 will be on analyzing characterization based on the story How Odin Lost His Eye. After going through this lesson, you will be able to read and analyze the story How Odin Lost His Eye. Cite the importance of having good characteristics and examine the character traits of the main character in the reading selection. Let's encounter first the words as we have this activity word power. Look at the given words and explain how they relate to your characteristics as a person. And these words are sacrifice, wisdom, and love. And let's do the process questions. First, what are the common features of the given words? Second, how can we develop the given characteristics to our lives as a person? And third, what is the importance of understanding the meaning of the given words? Sometimes in our life, we sacrifice, and that we need wisdom and love to overcome it. How about you? How do you relate these characteristics to your life as a person? And what is your own understanding of the given words? Before we will be reading the story of how Odin lost his eye, I would like you to ponder with these comprehension questions which you will be answering after the story. First, what is the problem in the story? Who are involved in the problem? Second, what actions were attempted at solving the problem in the story? How did these actions result to? Third, what was the final solution arrived at by the characters involved in the story? And lastly, was there any indication of the character rebuilding or restoring relationship with other characters after the conflict in the story? Support your answer. Before we'll start reading the story, I would like you to get ready of your notebook, ball pen, and your module so that you can follow me. How Odin Lost His Eye, retold by Catherine F. Silo. Once when the world was still very young, Odin sat on his throne in the most beautiful palace in Asgard. His throne was so high that he could see over all 3 parts of the world where he sat. On his head he rode a helmet shaped like an eagle. On his shoulders perched 2 black ravens called Memory and Thought. At his feet crouched 2 snarling wolves. The great king gazed thoughtfully down on the earth below him. He had made the green land that stretched out before his eyes. With the help of the other gods, he had made men and women who lived on that earth. The fair elves had promised they would help his children of the earth. The elves were the tiny people who lived between heaven and earth. They were so small that they could flit about doing their work unseen. Odin knew that they were the artists who painted the flowers and made the beds for the streams. They took care of all the bees and the butterflies, and it was the elves who brought the gentle rain and sunshine to the earth. Even the ugly dwarfs who live in the heart of the mountains agreed to help. They forged iron and metals, made tools and weapons. They dug gold and silver and beautiful jewels of the earth. Sometimes, they even cut the grain and ground the flour for the farmers on the earth. All seemed to be going well. Odin found it hard to think of evil times, but he knew that the frost giants were only waiting for a chance to bring trouble to his children. They were the ones who brought cold and ice to the world and shook the earth in anger. They hated Odin and all the work of the gods. And from high on his throne, Odin looked down beyond the earth, deep into the gloomy land of his enemies. He saw dark figures of huge men moving about. They looked like evil shadows. He, the king of the gods, must have more wisdom. It was not enough just to see his enemies. He must know more about them. So, Odin wrapped his tall figure in blue cloak. Down from his throne he climbed. Down the broad rainbow bridge, he strode and across the green earth till I came to one of the roots of the great evergreen tree. There, close by the tree, was a well full of clear water. Its surface was still. It was like a mirror. In one could see pictures of things that had happened and things that were going to happen. But beside the well sat an old man. His face was lined with the troubles of the world. His name was Mimir, which means memory. No one, not even the great Odin, could see the pictures in the well unless he first drank some of its water. Only Mimir could give the magic drink. Aged Mimir, Odin said to the old man, "You who hold the knowledge of the past and future in your magic waters, let me have but one sip. Then I can know enough to protect the men and women of the earth from the hate of the giants." Mimir looked kindly at Odin, but he did not smile. Although he spoke softly, his voice was so deep it reminded Odin of the distant roar of the ocean. "The price of one drink from this well is not cheap," Mimir said. "And once you have drunk and gazed into the mirror of life, you may wish you had not, for sorrow and death as well as joy are pictured there. Think again before you ask to drink." "You are great and good, Odin," answered Mimir. "You have worked hard to make the world. Only those who know hard work may drink from my well. However, that is not enough. What have you given up that is very dear to you? What have you sacrificed? The price of a drink must be a great sacrifice. Are you still willing to pay the price?" Odin put his hands up to his bright blue eyes. Those two eyes had gazed across the world from his high throne in the shining city of the gods. His eyes had taught him what was good and beautiful, what was evil and ugly. But those eyes had also seen his children, the men and women of the earth, struggling against the hate of the giants. One eye was a small sacrifice to win knowledge of how to help them. And without another thought, Odin plucked out one of his blue eyes and handed it to Mimir. Then Mimir smiled and gave Odin a horn full of the waters of his well. "Drink deeply, brave king, so you may see all that you wish in the mirror of life." Odin lifted the horn to his lips and drank. Then he knelt by the edge of the well and watched the pictures passing across its still and silent surface. When he stood up again, he sighed, for it was as Mimir had said. He had seen sorrow and death as well as joy. It was only the glorious promise at the end that gave him courage to go on. So, Odin, the great king of the gods, became one-eyed. If you can find Mimir's well, you will see Odin's blue eye resting on the bottom. It is there to remind men and women of the great sacrifice he made for them. The source: Celebrating Diversity Through World Literature, Grade 10 Learners Materials, pages 80 to 83. That was a great story of sacrifice, right, class? Now, let us answer the comprehension questions I had given you before reading the story. What is the problem in the story? Who are involved in the problem? What actions were attempted at solving the problem in the story? How did these actions result to? What was the final solution arrived at by the characters involved in the story? And lastly, was there any indication of the character rebuilding or restoring relationship with other characters after the conflict in the story? Support your answer. Now, let's do the plot and conflict analysis. Did you feel you were part of the story? Yes or no? Explain your answer. Were you able to predict the ending? What was your favorite part of the story? And what type of conflict or conflicts did the author create? Is it character versus nature? Character versus society? Or character versus self? Or it could be character versus character. So check if there's one or more. What was the most important conflict in the story? What was the main character or the protagonist trying to accomplish? And how was the main conflict resolved? Now, let's relate the story of how Odin lost his eye into our life and its importance. What you're going to do is to answer this question. What character or traits should a person possess to become successful in life? And I would like to give you this quote by Eduo Koyenekan. The mind is just like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets and the more it can expand. This ends our lesson for today. I hope that you have learned something. This is once again your teacher Arian Jane C. Bilano. See you on the next lesson and have a blessed day.